Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Myers and I'm one of the Vice Presidents here at Health and Safety Institute. And on behalf of the entire staff of HSI, let me first welcome you today to our presentation. Over the next few minutes, we're going to be talking about a topic that is really very important, I believe, to all of us as professionals. It's important for our professional success, but also very important to the success of our students as they head out after their training programs to potentially be in a position to lend assistance to others who might very well be in need of their help. So today we're going to talk about the program that allows us to practice what you teach. And thinking about practicing what you teach, we're going to look at four general areas as we're going through this. The first is the importance of role modeling, because as role models, we set the pace for our students. Social learning theory, we want to talk a little bit about social learning theory so you can have an opportunity to hopefully understand a little bit better what we do when we stand up in front of an audience and how we come across as role models. And we also want to talk a little bit about the modeling process. And then finally, a few tips and techniques that you can try at home as professionals to make sure that you, in fact, are practicing what you preach. A good example of practicing what we teach: before I came to work at HSI, I worked at an organization that was the diving safety and health and medical research organization of the recreational scuba diving industry. And one of the things that we did in that organization was we created training programs to help divers lend assistance to others. For instance, emergency oxygen for someone who's been diving, or hazardous marine life injuries, how to deal with those type of injuries. But we also taught people how to use AEDs with their diving community. And it was interesting, when I first arrived at the organization, one of the first questions I asked was, where are our AEDs in the building? Because we had a staff of 60 or 70 people and a building that was 4 floors. And so we needed to make sure that we were practicing what we teach, because in our AED course, we talked about making sure that our AEDs are easily accessible in the event of an emergency. But unfortunately, when I asked where our AEDs were, one was under one of the medic's desks, so he knew where it was whenever he needed it if there were an emergency in the building. We also had one in our training room, because we taught the programs and we wanted to have a live unit available so we could demonstrate to our students and, again, make it available if we needed it for the organization. And we had a third unit, and it was tucked away in our supply cabinet with our show supplies. And these were the supplies that went with us whenever we went out to do diving shows. Now, unfortunately, if we needed any one of those three in an emergency, we may not be able to get our hands on those quickly. And my worst fear was always that I would wake up one morning, pick up USA Today, and front page news would be a diver dies working for the organization that teaches people how to use AEDs, but unfortunately the AEDs were not available. So we immediately took to making sure that we talk the talk and walk the walk with our AEDs, and we mounted those AEDs on the walls throughout the building. And we taught our staff how to use those AEDs so they felt more comfortable if one of their fellow workers had a problem. So all very important parts of making sure that whatever we do as professionals, that we're setting the good role model, or setting the good example for our students to make sure that they are using the same things when they go out to possibly lend assistance to others. It's interesting, one of the things that I think we all would agree to is that as professional educators, we're right in those crosshairs, those very finite crosshairs of our students, because they're watching everything that we say, everything that we do.